Lucky Boys Podcast.
Welcome to Lucky Boys Podcast. I'm Will.
I'm Norm.
And we have Michael Lynn back with us
Hello.
Another one. Boop, 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 boop.
Thanks for having me back. Welcome. Every time you come on, we actually, we break out a bottle of nice whiskey. So I'm glad you came.
Oh man, I got a You know what?
Is that why you asked me on? Yeah. It's a good time. So.
He knows because I go and buy a bottle. It'd be nice if you guys come and bring a bottle, but you always take care of us.
I mean, my liquor store doesn't open this early.
Yeah. No, you always take care of us. You are a tremendous host. You have one of the most. You are probably my most hospitable friend that I have. So, yeah, far from cheap, extremely generous, and when you set something up, you always take care of us, and you never let us pay for anything. Hats off to you.
Thank you.
Anyway, this is not what this podcast is about. But yeah, since
this podcast is not about blowing his head out. No, don't stop. Cameras rolling. Come on.
But yeah, we well, I got a bottle last night. Figured, I haven't had any hard liquor in a long time, and actually Lisa was like, "Well, go get a bottle." And then I was like, "Oh, it's awesome! You guys coming over? We could crack that open." So yesterday, Norm and I was at a protest together.
Yeah.
They can't burn us all.
Yeah.
They can't burn us all protest. This is for the
89-year-old grandma that was attacked and set on fire in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Pretty unfortunate incident. Definitely something that we're passionate about, going out there and speaking and having out the Asian voices heard, and letting the authorities know that we won't take this. We're upset, and we want to make sure that all the resources that are being used to investigate are being used for that.
Right. And I want to give full credit where credit's due. We don't deserve any of that.
Yeah, hell no.
No. I had a couple of people that came up to us yesterday, and they actually recognized us and had a conversation. And I do want to shout those guys out. Shout out to you, Vic. And I'm terrible with names, but I made it a point to remember it just so I could shout you guys out, because you guys were there at the rally, and I was so proud to see Asian Americans there fighting, joining us in the fight. So shout out to you, Vic. He's from Chicago, and he came over to New York. He's a doctor, I believe, and he says he listens to Lucky Boys, and he's right now pursuing his stuff going on in New York, and he came up to us, and he was there at the rally, and that was amazing. Shout out to Lillian. Shout out to, I think, is it Johnny? But like I said, I'm terrible with names. Guys, forgive me. But shout out to you guys, man. You guys were there at the rally. You guys were fighting for it. And it was so nice that I was able to see some of guys I used to play basketball with. And
oh, wow.
Yeah. I saw guys that I was, some people that I grew up with joining the fight. And I saw people that... I went to school with, a couple of folks there, and it was very nice to just have that conversation with them. But back to giving credit where credit's due. A couple of these people had conversations with us, and they thought that we were the catalyst for this movement. We're not. I want to make sure that we're there to support it. The people that are spearheading this, it's Will Lex Ham.
Yeah.
Who we had on this podcast. He's extremely passionate about the fight for Asian Americans and speaking up against injustice and highlighting a lot of these issues, along with China Mac, who I had the pleasure of speaking with briefly yesterday. And I mean, these guys are doing some amazing things. Now, I'm not interested in all the other stuff people's been saying, all the other chatter and noise. I am interested in what they're trying to achieve.
So they're expanding this beyond New York?
That's absolutely. So they're going to the West Coast. I spoke with Will, and they said that they're taking this out there. I believe it's September 5th. They're going to kick this off in LA, and then they're going to San Francisco, and they're going to go to other towns. Yeah. So they want to spread this awareness. They want to speak up because they know that there's power in that. And they're also encouraging the vote. Asian Americans are the fastest growing group in the United States, but our voices aren't heard, and we want our voices to be heard, and part of that is voting. If they know that you guys, and here's why, if they know that you guys vote and you guys have the potential to swing elections, then they're going to want to know what's important to Asian Americans.
Yeah.
All right, whether it's crime, whether it's discrimination,
and
equality. They're going to want to make sure that they pay attention to Asian American issues.
Yeah.
And what's important to us, they want to know, because that's how they fight for you. They fight for your vote. So as a collective, we need to unify. Yes, Asian Americans are extremely diverse, but we all deal with the same problems. We really do. Those are facts. Those are facts. It's like Asian Americans, we absolutely, it doesn't matter if you're Laos, Cambodian, Vietnamese, Korean, Filipino, Chinese, Japanese. We all go through the same discriminations. We share those.
Outside of our community, we look the same.
Yeah.
There is no difference.
Any other non-Asian, we're just lumped into an Asian bucket.
Right.
And it comes down to that too, as well, is like money. Are we willing, like the city's looking at this, like, are we willing, this Asian American community, but are we going to spend this money for this community?
Right.
And the only way we can do that is use our voices. And that it worked, right? It started in Brooklyn. And then we had another valley in Manhattan, but I also wish that more people came out. Yeah. And we're talking about Manhattan, New York City, Chinatown. I mean,
right.
Hey, what's going on? There's a huge community of Asian Americans in Manhattan.
Right.
Where were you guys? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
no, I don't want to shame anyone.
No, of course.
But because number one, they may not have known about it.
I didn't know about it.
You didn't know about it. Look how close you are to us.
I know.
Right? And I don't want to put that out that Asians don't support. I don't want to subscribe to that narrative at all. I don't want to subscribe to that. But what I will say is that you cannot underestimate the change that can occur with just a small group of people. It started with a small group of people and it's growing. More people will contribute. And then people start believing. People start supporting. People start marching beside you. I mean, while we were going, I could see the faces. They were like, oh my, I mean, it was a mixed reaction. I saw some people like, oh my gosh, I'm just trying to eat. Would you shut the, they had that face on, like they were disgusted with the march. Whereas, I mean, that wasn't the majority, but I definitely saw those people. And you had another faction that began chanting with us. And you had another faction that was like, yeah, rooting us on, like, yes, fight for this. And what really struck to me was when we got to like around Seward Park area in Chinatown, I saw this white lady come out one of the buildings. She obviously lived there. She was with her 2 kids. And she was young. And both kids were very young. And then she grabbed her kids close to her and she explained to them what was going on. And she was rooting for us. And then she began chanting with us. Oh, shit. Like we need a word. We need a word for opposite Karen, because I was like, that was just, she had 2 young sons there. One of them could barely walk as a toddler. But she wasn't like, she wasn't like anything at all. She totally got it. She told, and she lived in Chinatown. So that told me like, yo, like Chinatown's changing, because yes, there's non-Asians living there. But to me, that just made her like, to me, I was like, yo, you're Chinese. Because you know why? There's Chinese people that was disgusted with the march yesterday. Yeah. I saw the sour look on their face and I heard them speaking Chinese, like, look at these losers. And I was just like, oh my gosh, yo, we're fighting for you. Like, if you got burned, we would have been fighting for you.
We're fighting for your grandma,
yeah,
your parents.
No, but this was like an Asian man that worked in a restaurant. I think he's like a chef. I don't know, like 50 something years old. He came out and said, basically along the lines, it's a rough translation, but basically, look at these losers. What the fuck they doing? And when we got to East Broadway, I heard him say that, and I was just like, damn, man. I wanted to go up and say something to him, but I knew that I would need more than 5 to 10 seconds to change his mind, to really educate him, instead of 5 to 10 seconds would be a confrontation.
But I think that's key, though, the education part. Like, I feel like there's certain groups of Asians understand what we're fighting for, but that there's also a group of Asians that they don't really understand why we're doing it, right?
Because they don't think we can make. They don't have faith in the power of the voice because they've never seen it.
Their eyes are on this, because they want to make sure that this is properly investigated so that they don't have to deal with like Asian American, the protests growing bigger. But like we mentioned, this is not going to stop.
It is not going to stop. It is not going to stop. And I love that we have people lending their power in voices to this. Everyone. I love that. And again, we weren't anywhere near the people that should be getting any, so it was, we were just there to support because we're all in this together.
Yeah. Like they still haven't gotten because they don't have any suspects. Effort. Right.
Look, what was troublesome was that they didn't even take down the report. They didn't say, oh, so what happened? Who was it?
Yeah.
And this and that. They didn't say it. They didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
They didn't do any of that. What's his name? Don Lee. Don Lee. Oh my gosh, guys, Don Lee. He is the head of the...
Yeah, so he runs the nonprofit for the Seeing Center that the grandma frequents in Brooklyn. He's also a community activist, and he gave us such an impassioned, emotional speech, man.
Guys,
it hit me.
I have it. I recorded it.
Yeah.
I might put it at the front of this podcast if you guys watching it on YouTube. But if you're listening to it on Spotify, obviously we're not gonna throw that in there just for audio purposes. But we will post the whole video on Instagram, so you could check us out, Lucky Boys Podcast on Instagram, and that's where we'll have it. But oh my gosh, Don Lee. Holy cow, the passion. And one of the things that he said that really that was striking to me was like, he said they reached out to him, the people that are in power, and threatened to pull this 501(c)(3) status.
Yeah, his nonprofit status.
They going to take away his money.
They threatened to silence him. Again, the silencing of Asian. And this is not something that we're making up. Look, you have someone that runs a nonprofit for senior citizens. Okay? And he helped the 89-year-old grandma because he knew in his heart it was wrong. He knew in his heart it was wrong. So he went with her to help translate and to help make sure that it gets properly filed. I love this guy. And in his speech, it really I was already there, but he just William Wallace the shit out that speech, man. It made me go, freedom. Like, oh my gosh, man. Because he was so real, so passionate. There was no just BS with this guy. It was just pure love, passion, justice. It was all the right things, man.
He was fighting for the right thing. He was fighting for what's right, morally right.
So anyway, I know we're beginning off this podcast pretty damn heavy, but we're fresh off of this.
Oh yeah, I still like, my voice is still hoarse from yesterday. I had a microphone with me, but I was still screaming. Yeah. I didn't need to scream, but then our voices needed to be heard in the community. Right. We're part of the community.
It's amazing to see us all come together. And it was funny. I noticed. I looked back, and I saw China Mac, and he's trying to. He saw other people rooting for us and other Asians or whoever, and China Mac was like, "Come on."
Oh yeah. And then they were trying to rally people off the street.
Oh yeah.
We saw people, we see people shopping, and just having brunch and whatever. But dude, the energy, we wanted that. We wanted more people. We wanted to fill up the streets, the sidewalks, and everything, the shops, and And it was fun watching Steve Lee do his thing, and it was great. Everyone had their role. Everyone knew what they needed to do to bring attention to this, and Lex as well. Lex was constantly, he was spearhead. He was, his voice he is the biggest cheerleader.
So powerful. Yeah, he was the biggest voice.
Yeah.
Just resonating through Chinatown.
Yeah.
And that can't be easy. So people may say whatever they want to say, but I don't care. They're fighting for us. And anyone that fights with us or for us, then I'm there to fight with you too. Yeah. We're allies. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care what happened, what is there. I just care about what they're doing now.
Yeah.
What they're doing, because they don't have to do this.
Oh yeah. They have busy lives, bro.
They don't have to do this.
Yeah, they don't have to. But yeah, I want to just say, I'm proud of, you guys for doing this. You guys have have made this
Everyone
like,
out there.
a great
Everyone
effort.
out there,
You know, everyone out there, everyone who took the time out to go out there on a nice, beautiful day and just like fighting for what's right. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. And it was great to see a lot of people that watched the show, and it was also great to see some of my old friends that I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's continue the fight together, guys. I love it. I love it. All right.
Yeah,
let's
but-
move on to fun things, huh?
Yeah, but
Did you
don't
wanna
let
say
that
something?
momentum die, though. You know, like you said,
No.
make sure you vote. That's
Oh, yeah.
that's where you hold your power, right?
Well, this is the beginning. This is the beginning. You know, we have,
Yeah.
believe me, as long as we're doing this podcast, and as long as we have people that actually listen, you know, we'll be sharing stuff, and we'll continue the fight together. That's all I can promise. You know, we'll speak up, and we'll give opportunities to get people on. And you know, for example, like Steve Lee, we were actually supposed to have him on today. Thank you for subbing in, but we had a scheduling conflict, and something came up, so that's all right. And we're working something out with Steve Lee, and we should have something coming soon with him. And his story, I promise you, will be nothing short of incredible.
It's like a Martin Scorsese film.
He, you know, his life is like a movie.
Yeah.
Literally, his life is. And speaking of his life is like a movie, China Mac is another one. And I also had a discussion with China Mac, and he seemed very receptive. And you know, we'll see if we can get him on in the future. But Steve Lee, I'm very excited to have him on, and the potential of China Mac as well. I know some of you guys has either messaged us or said in the comments to get him on the podcast. And you know, we'll see what happens with that. But we do want to bring you guys who you want to see, and people that actually personally me, I would love to talk to them because I just find them interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, I love their energy, and if I find you interesting, then I definitely want to have a conversation with you, and you know, get to learn a little bit more about you and formulate my own opinion about that, and actually maybe learn something.
Oh yeah, I think it would be great to have Don too, because he's he's like super ingrained into Chinatown, like the history of Chinatown.
Yeah,
you know. So, and he's a very active community activist. So, I want to hear from his like point of view what happened in the past, because I'm sure he was a young activist back in the day.
His voice is so powerful.
Oh yeah, I mean, like
it was so you don't get like, and he has an Asian accent. He has a Chinese accent. You can hear it, but that does not, like, because people don't like the Chinese accent for whatever reason. It's not sexy, but to me, it made it more powerful. It made it more real. It was just incredible to hear. I love that he had a Chinese accent. It made me like just filled with just
pride,
realness.
I wasn't even paying attention to his accent, but I was like more listening to his words, and he used the words that he used. Like, it is William Wallace, freedom. You know, he was
William
like
Wallace shit.
He
Man. There was no script.
He wasn't.
He didn't have a. He wasn't like looking at his phone, going, "Well, this happened." And
yeah, we got a chance
from the heart.
From the heart, man.
Exactly. So we had a chance to speak to Don. You know, his speech, it really affected us, and he said like it came straight from the heart. That's what he had. Nothing. He just came straight from the heart.
And he's like, "I'm sorry, guys. It just came straight from the heart." And I looked at him. He was just like, man, and it made me really want to go like, "Hey, man, let's fight together." Like, it really made me go, "Yeah, let's fight together. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go to war together. Let's go."
Yeah.
You know, it was that dude's a general. You know,
oh
I just
yeah,
love
definitely.
it. You know, I'll put that out there. I mean, he's definitely he's not afraid to fight, and he's not afraid to speak up. And we need more of us like that. Don is a perfect example of what we need.
Yeah,
it is absolutely perfect. Anyway, you said you need a drink?
I need a drink, bro.
I'll take one.
Right.
I'm not saying no to a drink.
With a big ice cube or
The big round one. Yeah.
yeah,
one.
I'll take
All
an
right.
ice cube. Yeah.
all right.
So I came back from Lake George, right?
Yeah, how
And
was
it was an awesome trip. We only were there for 2 days, but it was a perfect 2 days. We did a lot in 2 days. It was like I did jet skiing, paddleboarding, enjoyed the weather. But there was quite a few people. There were a lot of people there.
Were they at
It
least
wasn't-
fairly responsible as they could be?
Let's just say that when a few drinks go into people, social distancing doesn't really matter anymore.
Makes
but,
sense, yeah.
You know, the masks come off. But most of the time, like if you were in a public setting, people would distance themselves and just like, you know,
That's
you know, have the mask on and stuff. But I definitely want to do a big ass group trip because I think we should celebrate the end of summer in a big way.
I mean, I'm down for it.
Right.
I haven't done anything this summer like that's noteworthy.
I know
because everything that's going
depressing, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like one of the last big outings that we had was when all of us were like down in Brooklyn. Right?
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah.
we had that picnic.
That was nice. That was nice.
Fun. That was a fun day. I'll be honest. I think there was a 2-hour stretch where I kind of just brown out and autopilot it.
Oh yeah.
But it felt good. But yeah, next time you give it more than just a 3-hour notice.
Oh, my bad on that. Oh no, it's so the thing is like it's so hard to find a place for a big group. I think, and I saw a lot of big groups there, so it was very, I think this time
Like,
it's very popular.
If you want to do it at the end of August, I'm down. I could start looking around for places too.
Yeah.
I'll help you with the research.
But what you can do there, which amazes me, is that there's a lot of little islands on Lake George.
There you go.
you.
There's a lot of little islands on Lake George where you can rent a boat and then go onto that little island and camp out there. That to me blew my mind. You can rent out a boat and drive it yourself.
We got to close out summer that way.
Oh, yeah,
I am
yeah.
down for it.
Definitely.
I'll help do the research.
I just hope the
local
weather.
places.
I just hope the weather.
Or the weather holds out.
Yeah, holds out until the end of the month.
And
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
yeah.
Hey guys,
Cheers.
Cheers to you guys.
I can't reach you, but okay. Cheers.
Short arms.
No, it's just normal arms. We only have
Nah,
normal
you're not
short
short
arms.
making fun of my long arms.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's good.
that's good, man.
Smooth, smoothie locks. Yeah,
I don't know the last time I had whiskey. When I was here.
when you were here, yeah.
Yeah, that's the last time I had whiskey.
Sorry, I'm
Wow.
a whiskey house.
Wow, really? That was the last
Yeah.
time. You don't drink it anymore?
I don't drink too much at home. I mean, at home I just drink White Claws, really, because they're lower calories. I think about the health
I
aspect
just drink
of it.
like White Claws when
Yeah.
I'm home.
Yeah.
because it's 90 calories.
100.
Oh, 100.
100. Fact checking that.
I'm a convert, bro. I'm a convert to the seltzer, to the alcoholic
it's actually
seltzer.
pretty good.
No,
it's like soda, but healthier in a sense, only because you have less sugar, lower calories,
Yeah.
and you get a good buzz off of it.
I
if
will
you drink
give
enough.
that it doesn't make you feel as bloated.
Yeah.
So there's less guilt that goes into it, and you
yeah.
still get that buzz. So I will give that, but it doesn't replace, like, sometimes you just want a fucking beer. The way just the beer taste is, a White Claw's not going to replace that. Minus the calories, whatever. You're all like calorie crazy.
Yeah.
But if you're not, I mean, just from a drinking perspective, if all things were equal, if it wasn't for the calories, bro.
Oh,
beer
I
all
will.
day.
I will go for beer hands down.
Beer
Easy.
hands
I mean, you can't have beer. You can't have a White Claw with wings. So
No, you can't. You can't.
Thank you.
You can't.
Thank you.
It just accompanies food a lot better. Like certain food.
Nah,
Yes.
well, you need beer with wings, but
Yeah.
on a just casually drinking without any combination of anything, I'll just go with a White Claw when I'm home.
I think White Claw is nice for like summers and something like if it's a little hotter. You know what White Claws remind me of? Like, I remember when you guys remember wine coolers when that was the shit.
Like the
Back when we were
like the
teenagers.
what was that brand? It was like in the bottles like that with like fuzzy navel, Sex and Beach flavors.
And that's what it reminds me of. You know, people used to drink that and get like whatever, or they used to mix it, like the ghetto mix. They'll get like a. For those of you guys, yeah, Old English. I don't know. Maybe it was a New York thing and a ghetto New York thing. But if you guys remember, like for all my New Yorkers listening, well, you do like a weird ghetto mix. We'll take a bottle. We used to get a 40 ounce, and of Old English, and then we'll drink it like a quarter of the way, and then we'll get wine coolers, like a berry flavor or whatever, and then just throw it in and mix it. And then drink it, and you get like
Get a good buzz from
like
it.
a sweeter flavor from the malt liquor, and it was just it's kind of disgusting now thinking back at it. But when you're a kid, you know, you don't really know, and you're just doing what's cool, and everyone's doing it, so you think it's cool, and you're young and you're dumb, and you're getting buzzed anyway. Hence, like what we drank in college was crazy. You guys remember when we used to have
Don't remind me.
the jungle juice?
Yeah.
We called it.
Oh, yeah.
It was like
We get a humongous cooler, and then we would just start getting all the sweet juices and put it in there, and just get the cheap
cheap
plastic
vodka.
bottle,
Yeah.
Georgie's.
Yep.
And we used to throw that in with a little bit of Devil Springs and 151, and then we'll just put a whole bunch of orange juice and fruit punch and all this other stuff. And let me tell you, it was fucking delicious. Whatever we did, I mean, it was different every time, but it was always delicious. People will always say, "You guys have the best jungle juice."
There's no one recipe.
No, you just go with what you have.
I think we because we used that one particular cooler. That's why.
Oh, it's baked into the barrier.
Yeah, it's baked
are you
into
implying that we didn't clean it?
No, I never said that. I never said that. But it's sort of like, you ever seen the Married with Children episode where Al Bundy, he makes the best burgers, but the reason why he makes the best burgers is because he doesn't clean his grill.
Oh, gross.
So he has all the ash and stuff like that.
I'm not gonna say which company does this, which burger chain, but they were saying that's why their French fries are the best.
Oh, because they don't.
Oh,
clean
they don't
it?
change the oil.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
You guys heard
I
that,
remember
right?
that.
So I'm not gonna say. Don't say the company. 'Cause I don't want to get launched at.
I mean, I've seen Gordon Ramsay, like he talk about like fries taste like it's like burnt shit, but then it's because of the oil. It's like being used. He could taste it.
It's a type of oil too.
Yeah.
I mean,
so maybe fine dining is different from.
My mom does it when she deep fries stuff. She reuses the oil. I'll be honest.
yeah.
I love the flavor of like after like a reused oil.
You got the flavors from the past.
Yeah.
The essence of the past.
It gives that extra layer of flavor that you get.
Exactly.
That you're like, that's chicken and pork at the same time.
It's not veggie.
Yeah, I think they were
That's not
using. I think they actually use, and this what troubled a lot of vegetarians, is that they use beef oil, like pork oil.
loin,
Yeah, a
right?
lot of that. Yeah, and in their French fries, and it freaked them out. They were,
But that's how
they
you
felt
get it.
betrayed.
That
That's how
flavor
you-
and the crispiness. I guess. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
how you get the flavor from it.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, fatter oil tastes better.
I love French fries, and they say that's one of the worst foods for you.
I love it. Tater tots though.
Oh, I love tater tots.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
prefer tater tots over French
Yeah.
fries though.
Tater tots to me, it's like it's kind of like a hash brown put in a little tot. I don't know that.
Right.
Right? But I like French fries. I think there's a time and a place. You know, like sometimes I like wine, sometimes I like my whiskey.
That's
true. Or my beer. It just depends. There's a time and a place for my tater tots. Like if I'm eating burger, for the most part, like I kind of want French fries with that.
You need it.
I need it. But if I'm eating like a chicken cutlet or something like from Denny's, you know, something like I kind of want tater tots or home fries. So it's like a different. It just depends. Like I don't know. With my burgers, I usually just like French fries, whether they're Cajun or curly or whatever. But
Yeah.
Waffle fries.
waffle fries.
Waffle
there you go.
fries.
What is the food that you miss most, like with COVID and everything happening? Like you haven't had
Korean barbecue.
quite a bit.
That-
Korean
is
barbecue.
one.
Here's why I love Korean barbecue, because I love sharing a delicious ass meal with friends. And usually when we have Korean barbecue, we have it's over some drinks,
Yep.
some good music,
And it's always with a group of people. It's
group of people.
You don't eat Korean barbecue solo. At least I've never have.
right? And that's weird, right? and the restaurants are usually packed. So it's usually like a Friday night, Saturday night, or you know, it's just like a good vibe, you know.
Yep.
And I kind of miss that, right? Because I mean, how do you do Korean barbecue during COVID?
You can't do that indoors.
No,
Korean
you
barbecue
can't.
can't be done indoors.
But I feel like you can prevent the smell on clothes by just doing it outdoors. Then,
But how though? How will you do Korean barbecue
Oh,
outdoors?
man.
You can't.
all the Korean barbecue
a
stores.
skillet, bro. Right? You can do an electric
I
skillet.
don't think it does the same heat though. That's the thing.
That's true.
You
That's
need that
true.
like high intensity to cook it real quick.
Yeah.
And that searing on the outside.
Right, and then they put the
sound.
oil and then the
Yeah.
onions, the garlic. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I miss Korean barbecue the most. I don't know about you guys.
Ooh, Korean barbecue was definitely one of them. I had Vietnamese sandwich as one of them for a while also. But then I had it like 2 weeks ago, so I can't say that right now.
Yo, shout out to Mav. Thank you, Mav. Like during one of the podcasts, our friend Mav, he got us from Brooklyn over at Batay though. He got us like a legit
Viet sandwich.
Viet sandwich with a legit Vietnamese coffee. Oh my god.
Oh, the Vietnamese coffee was good. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
absolutely amazing, smooth.
So
that
sweet,
condensed milk.
Yeah.
I mean, once in a while, we could treat ourselves.
Oh, yeah,
man.
yeah,
It
of
was,
course,
it was just so good to. It was very nostalgic having it, you know. And he bought like 2 different types of Viet sandwiches. That was just bomb. It was just incredible.
So good.
I gotta look up that restaurant.
But you can have Viet sandwiches right now.
Yeah, you can.
So that's what I'm saying.
What?
Like during this pandemic, like what can't you have? I get it if you're afraid to go out. That's one thing. But
No.
like if you're willing to go out to eat or order in somewhere, like what can't you have that you miss?
Hot pot.
Hot pot's another one.
I haven't
Okay.
had hot pot
Either
in a while.
restaurant, but you can have
But hot pot
at
during the
home.
summer? Really?
I mean,
I've
hot
done
pot
it.
anytime.
Hot pot anytime.
bro.
Yeah, I could
Hot
miss
pot
it
is
during
so
the
good.
winter. For summers, for me, it's like if it's a fucking 100 degrees outside, I don't want to fucking.
Yeah, but inside is AC, bro.
AC's on, and
know,
just a
but
hot pot with good pork bone
hot
broth is
pot-
just so good. Also,
hot pot just feels more homey and sexy to me during a cold. You know, when you're cold outside, you want something hot. You know, that's just to me. If I'm hot, I want ice cream. I mean, I've done summer hot pots with you guys. It's all right. I don't crave it.
I don't know. It's
I'll
just
go
like
crazy on it.
just spicy and spiciness of the broth and the pork bone broth. It was just good. But that was one of them.
You can also do hot pot or shabu shabu at your house, though.
I feel like it's not the same.
All right,
I don't
that's
know.
true. No, you're
It's
right.
not the same.
Restaurants have their thing. They have their
exactly the
je ne sais quoi.
broth or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because then
Okay,
we're
I'll
talking
give
about
you that.
We
We had good ramen together.
had really good ramen together
I was
that night.
dying for
Good
something
ramen.
that was ramen because we've been making makeshift stuff at home, which is
Yeah.
great. Which is great.
But it's not the same,
Lisa
though,
killing
yeah.
it. But then like when we had it at the restaurant, it was just nice to have restaurant style ramen.
I'm sick and tired of cooking. Like 2-3 meals a day, 4 or 5 days a week. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
Like
Do you do any meal preps?
no, I don't meal prep at all. I just cook it when I need to cook. I hate meal prepping actually.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like to plan out my meals because sometimes like okay, I don't feel like this anymore. They just sit in the fridge for an elongated amount of time.
Right.
And then when you do eat it, it's not the same. It's just better fresh.
So Norm, what do you miss?
I haven't had dim sum
Yeah, I
in
did some
a
in
while.
Chinatown like 2
Yeah.
weeks ago at Jing Fong. It was really, really good.
Oh, shout out to Jing Fong.
Yeah.
Jing Fong, man.
And all the businesses in
Staple in
Chinatown.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
support it.
Go support. They're hurting.
But it was awesome, like that outdoor seating. I'll be honest, the food was still really, really good. Like if anything, I felt like it tasted fresher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because one
Made to order?
Yeah, it's made to order essentially, and with them, the fresher the better, right?
I miss the chicken feed. I miss like beef, beef chow fun, like all that.
歌炒牛河.
Like, just the whole experience. Like even the bad parts where I'm going out with my family, and then I have my mom like saying like you're late, like she's there already waiting. She's like I got a table, and then I'm not able to hold this table if you're not gonna be here.
Yeah.
I'm
Fighting
like,
over the check.
yeah, fighting over the check, and then
Shoulder to shoulder, rude ass strangers.
and then we have extra people coming, and then she's asking like for extra chairs, and it's like, but we got this table for like 5 people, but there's like 7 people coming, and I'm like, so awkward, right? So
yes.
awkward.
I love it.
But people accommodate, But I love that because they like, yay. I mean, restaurants that we go to, they accommodate. They want us to be happy. They're looking for families to be together. So
Yeah,
I miss that.
Hey guys, real quick, if you guys are listening, go support the businesses out in Chinatown, please. If you can,
If you love Chinese food, if you love food in general,
just
go
go
support
out
it.
there.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
if you have a choice and
You
you
love
have
ramen, you love sushi, go out. Go out.
And they deliver.
please,
so if you don't
please.
want to walk out.
They're hurting. They are hurting. Businesses down. Please support them, guys. They need it. I mean, there's so much. I mean, the truth is, and this doesn't get said enough, but there are businesses in China, specifically over at 46 Mott, the bakery there,
Yes.
where they're
Yeah.
feeding the homeless. They're feeding the community. They're doing so much out there, and they're already taking loss on profits, big time. But they're still out there trying to help the community. and
I'm
people.
glad you mentioned 46 Mott, man. Shout out to Patrick Mock for putting
Calling-
that project together and
And
feeding
calling
the
De
elderly.
Blasio out too.
And
for it.
calling De Blasio out,
Yeah, if you guys don't know, I mean, this has been on a lot of media sites, so it's not a secret. But it looked like from what the video we saw and based on what's been reported, is that De Blasio went to Chinatown for a photo op. And he's basically saying Chinatown's open for business. But when one of the business managers out in Chinatown was speaking with De Blasio about the current state and what we need, and actually speaking up, his voice didn't matter. In the middle of his sentence, De Blasio just kind of blew him off and then just turned his back on him and walked away in the middle of his sentence. I mean, dude, what do you think? Like, at least if the cameras are in front of you, do you not think that people are going to feel outraged about that? Just number one, from a let's just forget about how wrong it was. We all know that. But just how much do you suck as a politician?
The PR standpoint, the optics
like,
is so bad.
Like just your emotional IQ.
Yeah.
Like you gotta know cameras on you. At least play to the cameras. Do some Hollywood shit.
you can't hide that because the camera's on you. It's recording every single fucking
Exactly.
moment.
You gotta be aware. Like, oh shit, camera A, camera B. Therefore,
But-
I don't want to hear what this person has to say. But let me at least, as a politician, for my political career, let me just.
Well, that's the fucked up part. For him to even do that means that he doesn't even think he'll have any lashback on his political career anyway.
Then why go for a photo op? Why go for that photo op? Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what was going through his mind. I don't want to speak on behalf of him, but what the fuck? You know, like, what was
I don't
that?
know.
Like, did he have to take a piss really bad?
Did he have
to blow a fart? Like, what made you do that? Like, what made you turn his back while he's like struggling to survive? I mean, this is the guy that was doing so much good in the city that you're the mayor of. He deserves to be heard. Okay?
Definitely.
He's not just some random manager of a Chinese establishment that just decided to say something and with no valid input or energy or activity or resume of doing anything positive during this time. During these hard times, he's done his best to turn a negative into a positive. He deserves to be heard, not his back turned on. At least politely excuse yourself and say something like, I'm sorry, this and that, let me hear. At least get one of your assistants, like, let me hear what you need.
Yep.
I mean, come on. How bad is your emotional IQ? You know, like, I know there's so many people that does not like the Blasio, not just Asians, like a ton.
In general.
A ton. Not even New Yorkers. You know, that's how bad it's gotten.
But also that incident is sort of like solidifies the silencing of Asian American voices or Asian voices in general, because you have this person here who did such great things for the community at a dire time, and then he's pleading with the mayor to hear him out, to ask for additional help, additional support for the community.
Yep.
And then that happens.
You know what I will say? He was obviously shy, but the passion and the realness that came out of that was beautiful. And I'm telling you, we never seen Asians recorded like that, where you get an introvert or someone who's not used to speak up. But then when they actually do, when they do confront that, it's beautiful things come out. And he had a hard time getting some of his words out. And I was right there. I was supporting him. And so was China Mac, Lex, Steve Lee, and everybody else there. And he had trouble finding his words at times, but people just was like encouraging him. And it wasn't like he was hard time finding his words because he didn't know what to say. It wasn't that. It was just because he was trying not to be emotional. He was just like, but when he got over that and he confronted his emotions and he said, you know what? Fuck that. And he just poured out and he just energized the crowd, energized the rally. We kept marching straight through.
Everything just made sense at that moment for him.
Patrick, you are a powerful person. You are inspiration, bro.
Thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you for feeding the homeless, doing what you're doing in Chinatown. And you know what Patrick said? It really stuck with me too. He goes, don't just support my business here at 46 Mart. Don't support the business that I manage. He said, everybody's hurting around here. Go to any place in Chinatown, just please. He is Chinatown.
Yeah.
That is a fair representation of what New York City Chinatown is, and every Chinatown. That's the heart. That's the engine. Is the business owners and folks like Patrick. I love you guys, man.
Chinatown strong, baby.
Chinatown strong, baby.
That's another thing we were talking about. We were talking about like all this outdoor dining, right? And I was telling you, we were talking about, it'll be great if we kept this like this. Like how Little Italy, they block out the entire Mulberry Street.
Hell yeah.
You know,
But the thing I've read, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're making it difficult for that Mott Street block.
The city's making it difficult?
It could be the city, the Department of Traffic or whatnot, to like, they're constantly changing regulations on when they can have the outdoor seatings there.
Oh.
I think there was an article or report on ABC7. I read it briefly this morning, but that's what I read. Like, and and Department of Transportation had no response for like why they kept changing it.
You're silencing
Not
of the
making it-
Asian
not
voice,
making- not
man.
making it easy.
Yeah, I mean, like, why can't we have the same things as other other
equity.
groups of people?
Yep.
Yeah, the equality, right?
I gotta tell you, there aren't that many cars rolling through Chinatown right now.
I know.
There's not that much traffic, so
And
I don't know what the fuck they talking about. man.
Chinatown business was hurting before even March.
They're building a fucking jail in Chinatown in the middle of the city, right next to a playground. All right, right next to a fucking playground where kids play. A fucking jail in Chinatown. Oh, that's not a big deal. All right, why don't we go to your neighborhood and build a jail? Let's see what kind of uproar. You know, it's and the community is actively outspoken against this.
They've actively
But they
been
don't give a-
protesting
but
it.
they do not give a
Nope.
fuck. It's like, yeah, shut the fuck up, and they're gonna do what they're doing. You know, it's the things that are going on. It's just ridiculous. It really is. Like we really get the short end of the stick, and the people's like thinking, "Oh, you're playing the race card." No, we're not, man. You guys are stepping on us. You know,
and
you
it's
guys
overt. It's not like you're fucking hiding it.
It's blatant. It's like you're doing it, and you're going, "And what? Like this isn't Chinatown. This is my town.
Exactly.
F you. I'm putting this not only like all Asian thing. No, it's just people that stand for justice. That's what I mean. There's more of us. There's more people standing for justice because they understand that. What's the quote that you love to say?
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's why we fight for Black Lives Matter. That's why we fight for injustice when we see it, and we call it out, and that's it. We do our part. Everyone plays their part, and we have to call it out. We have to fight back because, believe it or not, guys, in 2020, I think there are a lot more people that stand for justice, and it's not. We don't look at it like a race thing anymore. It's crossing those barriers. It's going, no, that's not, because I got to tell you what, with Black Lives Matter, I cannot tell you how many people that I saw that were not black stand up. They're Asians, whites, Latinos. I mean, you name it. I've seen them there at the marches. Now, when you're talking about what, just a small sample size with They Can't Burn Us All rally, and that's, for Asians. And you're absolutely right. What you saw in Brooklyn is what I saw in Manhattan. 70% Asians, 30% everyone else.
Non-Asian, yeah.
Diversity. And I can't tell you how many black folks yesterday were screaming at the top of their lungs.
They were charged up.
Gotta
Even
love-
more
gotta love
charged
that.
than some Asians.
Like,
I'm like, I
goddamn.
can't let this guy get charged up more than me.
Gotta love
That's
that
why I took out my
energy, though.
microphone. That's
Yeah.
why, like, okay, I gotta get louder.
Yeah, man. And I looked at it like, God damn, this guy ain't even Asian. And he's like screaming louder than
Yeah.
a lot of the folks out here. And he's trying to rally, he's trying to get the energy up, and I was just like, I love that, man. There was blacks, there was
beautiful.
whites marching with us.
Yeah.
I mean, God damn, you guys,
they
you
were
guys
in the-
filled my heart.
And they were in the front lines too. They were like
Yeah.
protecting the protesters
Yeah.
within.
Yeah. And, they weren't like, and it was a peaceful protest, guys. It wasn't like we weren't rude. We weren't looking for fights. I'm proud to be part of a peaceful march. And when we got to the police precinct, I don't think the police looked at us like a threat at all. They were just listening to us. I saw the police, like, of course they had their stone face, but at least they wasn't like dismissive or antagonizing. Like what I got from the 7th precinct, and shout out to you guys at the 7th precinct, seriously. What I saw, I was watching you guys. I really was watching you guys, all of you out there, and I saw an Asian cop, I saw a black cop, I saw a Latino cop, I saw white cops, and you guys weren't like, haha, trying to like dismiss us in any way. You guys were really listening to us. You guys had a serious, this is a serious matter, and you guys were there holding on to your vest or whatever you guys had on, and you guys are just listening to the whole thing, and you did not one time try to quiet us. You did not one time try to make us feel like we were threatened from you guys. You guys didn't use any bully tactics or anything to make us feel insecure. You guys listened, and I saw your faces, and you guys were just stone-faced, but I could tell you were listening. And, and I know a lot of people who's on the fuck the police thing. I don't agree with that rhetoric. I think fuck the bad police, but to the good police out there, I know how hard your job is. Shout out to all you guys, man. I love what you guys are doing. Like I said, I would not want to live in a neighborhood run by a local militia that polices themselves or local gang. I am not with that. I pay my taxes. I expect my taxes that obviously a portion of that goes to the police department. I expect you guys to do your job, and I expect to help you do your job as much as possible to fight against injustice. Because that's why you became a police officer in the first place, is to fight against these injustices, right? And if I could do my part as a citizen to help you make your job easier, absolutely, I'm with you guys, man. It is not logical to fight you guys. We're on the same side. I don't want my neighborhood to be run by crime, but I think the frustration starts is when you don't pay attention to the crimes that we expect you to. That's when the city goes against you. That's when the people go against the bad cops. This is when you start, number one, abusing your power. Number two, not addressing some of the crimes that are in the neighborhood. That's when we start going, oh, that's a bad cop, and that's when people get upset. But for the most part, I know that is not the norm. Okay? For the record, I will say that I don't believe bad policing is a norm. However, I know that it's not perfect system, and I know their jobs are extremely difficult. You put your lives on the line every day. You have to fight. And unless it's just the police officers that are listening, I know we do have a few that listen, but my hat goes off to you guys. It's a tough job. You don't get paid that much. You have to fight a lot of the politics from up top. You have to take the shit from up top, and then you have to take the shit from everyone when you're going on the street. You guys don't have if it's a popularity contest, you guys are the worst at it right now. It's not easy going out right now and being a police officer, putting on that uniform when everybody hates you. But there are a bunch of us that do support you. So, and I'm one of them. I support good police officers.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I certainly do. I know I have friends, even people that I march with, that disagree with me completely with that, but then that's their prerogative, that's their opinion, and I respectfully disagree with them as well.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of love for the police officers and what they do, a lot of respect, right? And I have friends.
It's a stressful job, bro.
It's not an easy one.
So we have to help empower the good cops.
That's what I'm about.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're about, is to empower the good cops.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of good cops out there. I've seen a lot of good cops, and I don't think we give enough attention to that. I think it's always the bad news that hits the media, the bad cops. But I wish there was more recordings of good cops so we could at least restore some faith into that department.
We're seeing the bad stuff is because then it kind of like galvanizes people to speak out, which is also a good thing, to speak out and have some change within the police force. I mean, like, you can't have ego when you're protecting and serving. You can't have any ego. You
and
have
a lot
to
of police officers do have that ego.
And you have to
right.
adapt. You have to adapt and change with the communities that you're serving. All right, and sometimes, like you said, it's the powers that be. It's the politics. That's the ego that has to change.
During these times, people get tested. And you get to see the spirit come out. And I guess that's the positive outlook that I could take from it, is that I see a lot of the fighting spirit within our culture, in our people, that you usually don't see. You usually don't see. People, even like Asians themselves, will think that we could do a better job on that front. And I could tell you right now that I think just Asians are so efficient with how they use their energy. I really think that's it. It's not that they're like lazy or they don't fight. It's just they're efficient. They just like, is this shit worth it? They're real cheap with their energy. And it's not that they don't have lack of it. It's just they want to make sure it's worth it.
I think it's the epitome of time is money for us.
They're just exactly. They're just
cost benefit.
The cost benefit
analysis that they're doing in their brain.
So I think for the most part, because Asians are extremely analytical, extremely. Like, I don't know what is in our DNA or culture that makes us analyze the shit out of every situation.
And there's
overthink to the point where
the levels of analytical you're talking about. There's the street analytics, and then there's the book analytics. So
corporate 9 to 5 everything.
And there's also Asian analytics.
Yeah.
Right. And it could be like something silly like food. It could be surrounding food. It could be surrounding like the silliest things, right? Or personal safety, or just where they overthink something. It's like, bro, this isn't life or death, bro. Like, relax. And I have friends like that. They overanalyze. I'm like, bro, we're just gonna go eat. Like, yeah, but I'm thinking this and that and this and that. And I know that they're thinking in their head, like, between, like, trying to do whatever they want to do behind closed doors in their privacy, more whether it's video games,
Whatever it is, right?
masturbating. Come on. I know this motherfucker. Like, some of our friends, like, back in the day, come on, I knew they were just like, why don't you want to do, like, dude, come on, man. I know they was up to something. And then when you, like, you think and I know I'd be a bit inappropriate here, but come on. Like, I looked at these guys' hard drive. I was like, yo, goddamn. Goddamn. You think I'm bullshitting?
I found your secret stash.
Yeah, you think I'm bullshitting whenever I get on these guys' computers? Like, they didn't put their stuff on incognito mode. They didn't put they have this stuff open because they didn't think anyone was on it. I'm like, yo, and they somehow, guys just kind of brain fart sometimes. And I'm like, yo, can I use your computer real quick? They're like, yeah. I go on the computer and I'm like, bro, what the fuck? You got crazy gigs of what the hell is this? And then
Hey, if you're proud of it, flaunt it.
And then I got on their laptop I'm not gonna say their name, so don't worry, you guys are safe. But then I get that on their laptop, and some of my Asian friends that I went on they're just not proficient with the computer. They just don't care. So I went on a laptop on a browser and I'm like typing in, and you see all this like porn history that just recommended on, like, just assumed that I was going to like certain porn sites. It would just come up, and then I'm looking at him and he's like, what the fuck you looking at me like that for, Will? I'm like, bro, this is crazy, bro. I'm like when was the last time you, and the first thing that goes through my head, it's not like I'm not judging them. Like, I know, like, whatever, it's your shit, is I get it, bro. I totally get it. I'm a guy, I get it. But it makes me go, the fuck, yo, I'm touching this guy's laptop. Like, I'm looking at the keys, like, for stains.
At least clear the browser history. It's like laundry.
Yeah,
it's like washing your clothes. Clear your browser history.
But how many guys actually sterilize their laptops? Be honest.
I do.
You do?
I do it sometimes because of COVID, but
I don't know too many guys that sterilize their laptops, because a lot of guys, I think, their computers, because they're thinking I'm the only one using it. So anyway, so I go in and look at this, and I look over at this and this was pre-COVID, and I'm looking at this dude. I'm just like, you motherfucker. Like, your dick has been all over this keyboard.
He probably slammed his penis on top of the keys.
Trackpad.
And then he wiped it.
And what if you skeet it all over your thing, and I'm here just like ta 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 ta.
He's probably like, gotcha.
I mean,
yeah.
But if that person did that, at least they would wipe it, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But you'll see stains on it.
I would
if
hope
you
so.
didn't wipe it.
Okay,
You know?
that's a good point. But like, what if you just? I don't know how he cleaned it. What if he just wiped it like with a tissue, didn't use?
Oh,
like,
yeah, just like,
Like, didn't use no antibacterial, whatever.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just like, so as soon as he did that, I just kind of went, bro, no, thank you. I want to excuse myself. All the guys
on your keyboards.
All right, for all the guys and girls listening right now,
Clean your keyboards.
keyboards.